It really is. We're live. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't know why I keep trying to adjust this. I want to tell you a funny story. We're live, and I'm going to share this with my audience too. So I was on the panel today, and I was admiring ladies out there. I looked down and I said, "Oh, look at you. Where did you come from?" You know?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Look at this." Because this is my dress from my 30th birthday, and my boobs definitely did not look this nice on my 30th birthday. So I'm like, look at you. I'm like, yeah. So I'm on this panel, and we're in the backstage area, and we're getting ready to go live because I was on a panel today. And I was talking about this video that a friend of mine shared, and it's like when you're a breastfeeding mama, and it's like apparently they do this thing where they do this to figure out which boob they're going to feed the baby from. So there's this TikTok video, and the woman's just like, this is me all day. And I'm sharing this video, and of course, you know, I'm using my own, right? For anybody that catches this, it's going to be great. And the male panelist that was scheduled to come on there, like I've never met this guy. He's in the back area, like the green room before you get onto the screen. So apparently he's sitting there watching this entire thing, and I'm like, nice to meet you.
You made his day.
So I just figured I'd share that little funny humor for anybody out there. Freaking hilarious. All right, you guys. So as you guys come in, say hey. Let us know how you're doing. I want to make sure that this is sharing properly. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, and I'm gonna make a watch party. We'll make a watch party. All right. So as you guys come in, say hey, and let us know how you're doing. We're going to do that. All right. I'm going to keep that near me so in case anybody comes on the watch party. All right. So say hey as you guys come in. Let us know how you're doing. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited for this. And I'm really grateful to my guest, Nikita, for being here on 1 o'clock in the morning, Holland time. Okay. Yeah. So y'all, the sacrifices people make to come on this show are great. All right. Yeah. But yeah, as you guys come in, say hey, let us know where you are coming from. I'm really excited as always. Oh, look, we got people coming in. Yay. Say hey as you guys come in. Let us know where you're coming from, if you're coming from Facebook or YouTube. And for anybody who's new to this show, this is a live show. So as you can see, we are live right now. Please, please, please feel free to drop comments, ask questions, join in on the conversation. One of the biggest things that I have, a big belief I have with this show, is that it is super important that we all be available and be a part of the conversation. And so what that means to me is that everybody has a spot at the table and everybody's voice is heard. So if you are here, oh, look at that. I've got this watch party going, and hello, Toby, and hello, Joe. Joe is coming in from Kentucky. Oh, hello, yeah. Joe. Yeah. Hello, Joe. So for if you are catching this, just feel free to drop any questions or comments you have. This is your table as well. So join us in this conversation. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and drop into my intro. Oh, one more thing, you guys. If you catch us on the replay, #replay, let us know your thoughts. And if you guys will, if you feel like you receive value from this, if you love the women that are on here, please, please, please share this episode so that I can continue bringing more amazing people on here. But without further ado, oh, hello, Vera. Let me drop into my intro. I'm going to let my guest introduce herself, and we're going to have a really fun show, you guys. So hello and welcome to the TUF Woman Table, you guys. Oh, the table where I invite some super unfuckwtithable, I'm going to just change that out, badass, tough women like Nikita here to take a seat and join the conversation and share her amazing story. At TUF Woman, I believe that all women have the power within themselves to live an authentic life, free from fear, confident in who they are, and empowered as fuck to go after that life and whatever that looks like to them. I share this belief by championing tough women who have walked through the fire, felt the fear, faced adversity, and kept pushing through it all. Women who now live the life they want as the woman they were created to be, and women who own their stories so other women can embrace and own theirs as well. Because as we all know, and as it will one day be put on a shirt and other things of motivation, when you give yourself permission to own and share your story, you give someone else the same permission as well. So, oh my gosh, look, Kirsten says hello. Hello, Kirsten. Kirsten was on a show and a panel. She's like, hot women, look at that. Kirsten, you missed it. Oh, I miss you too. I was just talking about how nice my boobs look in this. Okay. Oh, see, look, y'all need to listen. Nikita, you need to link up. You and her will y'all will just love each other. Everybody should hook up. All right. So you guys, I want to introduce my guest. I'm not even going to explain because I think she explains herself the best. So this is my guest, Nikita Heller. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And please tell everybody a little bit about what it is that you do, who do you serve, and how do you show up in the world?
So today I am an international business coach, and my niche is leadership and blueprint. And I help female purpose-driven entrepreneurs to find their passion and blueprint and turn that into a program. So passion to product. And the main goal is that they have a free life, a life of freedom. They can do whatever they want, whenever they want, with whom they want. And I think that's so important, but that's not the life I started with. So my story will be totally different. And I'm a business owner for 2 years right now. And that's it. For the most of the time, I'm in Holland because that's where I live, Rotterdam. And I love to be in London. And I've never been to the United States. So please invite me so I can come to you too. And that's what I'm doing right now, helping legendary ladies.
Awesome. Oh, and Kirsten said, "Are you single?" She's asking for a friend.
Yes. I don't know if I should say that, but I am.
Hey, and she is okay, she says accent. So where are you from originally? I know you told me. So
I'm Dutch. I'm from Holland.
Okay, so you are from Holland. Okay.
Yes. So my English is Dutchy. Dutchy.
Dutchy. It's Dutchy. All right. So we are going to drop into this episode. And you guys, for anybody who's been on the show, Kirsten and I, you've been on, a little while back, I decided that I really wanted to start opening the show up. And for a long time when I started the show, I really, really was set on what is the journey behind what got you to where you're at in business. And like I was telling Nikita here, what that really did was kind of boxed in the story. So now moving forward, you guys are going to see a little bit more of a deep dive into people's actual stories, because I think it's really important, especially in this space, that we acknowledge that we all go through a lot of things to get to where we're at. And each piece of the story is important. So I am really excited to have Nikita kind of kicking this off. And look at Kirsten. I just love her. Kirsten, I got to connect with you anyways for the next domestic violence panel because I want you on there. So just saying. And Guillermo on our watch party says, hey, what's up, I got your message. I just have not had a chance to respond, so I will. All right. So Nikita, this is the part of the episode where I go, what is your story?
So my story, I will begin with my former job, and I am referring to my another life, because for me it feels like another life. I was a teacher, and I was teaching kids at the age of 12, and I was just a regular school teacher, and not really regular because I had kids in the classroom that were rebels. So we have a lot of schools in Holland, but sometimes the kids are acting out, throwing chairs, bullying teachers and stuff like that. And sometimes even the directors of the schools don't know how to handle the class. So maybe 5 or 6 teachers were bullied out of the classroom, and they didn't know what to do with the kids. They didn't know what to do with the class, and they still need to learn, right? So that's where I came in, and I have taught the rebels of the schools, and I did that with a lot of passion because I was one of those rebels too. I had a very, very harsh childhood. My dad has 8 kids, and my mom was wife number 2. and he divorced her and got another wife, and so we have 8 kids in total. And it was a lot of tension at home. There was a lot of shit going on, excuse my language, and that was really having a lot of tension in my home environment. And so I acted out in school. People didn't understand me. People didn't saw me for who I was, because they're always busy with the grades and how to be successful in school, and I was just surviving. I didn't know. I didn't thought school was that important because of the shit going down at my home. And I took care of my little brothers and sisters very soon. So I always learned how to take care of people, and I always did. So I've done that from a young age, and I've been through that when I was a teacher. Like, I'm gonna take care of the rebels. I'm gonna listen to them. I'm gonna take care of them. I'm gonna embrace them, and I'm gonna see them for who they are. And most of the rebels in school are very intelligent. They just bored, to be honest. Most of them are so freaking smart, and they're bored in school, don't know what the adults are talking about, what's so important, and act out. So I've done that for 10 years, and I've always been like the positive teacher, and let's do this and let's do that. And I was always walking, pushing boundaries. So sometimes I get like people are my colleagues, my teacher colleagues are always telling me that I shouldn't do it like that, and we have rules in school. And I was like, fuck those rules, man. Those kids need something else. So I was like the awkward, weird teacher that didn't had any rules, like the rebel of the teachers. And I've done that with a lot of passion, and I really felt like I needed to be there for them, because in my time the teachers were very dusty. I don't know if you had that same thing, but in my time, the teachers were so old and dusty. They're always saying the same thing and sit down and be quiet. And I was like, I don't need that to be, to be prepared for life, because in school they say they will prepare you for life, right? And that's not really what happens, right? So yes. So I was like, let's change this. So I became a teacher of the rebels, and I became a rebel in all kinds of things. And sometimes I get like sued, sometimes I get warned by the principal and stuff like that. But I still really believe that those kids needed something else, and I would provide that one way or another. So I worked 80 hours a week to provide that for those kids, to really, resonate with them. Because when you want to help those kids, you need to help those parents too. Because when they go home, they're going back to the environment where they acting out. So when they go back to school, you can start all over again. So very soon I saw that the parents need help too. You don't get a manual when you're giving birth, like this is how you treat a child, and parents don't know what to do, really. I'm honest. I've seen a lot of parents. They don't know what to do. They're just giving birth to the beautiful prince or princess, and they love the kids so much, but they don't get a manual. And I help those parents to find out what the manual is of that kid in that year. Because when you know it for that year, the next year it will change anyway. Because the kids grow, that happens. So I help those parents, and I worked 80 hours a week, and I still know the time when I got burnt out, because I never was sick one day. I couldn't let myself be sick because the kids need me. I knew I needed that teacher or kind of parenting when I was young. So I couldn't, let them down. I was never sick in all those years. And at a certain point, my body was like, if you're not going to stop, I will. And it did. So I got burned out in a very young age. Like I was 28, I think. And it was like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't speak. I couldn't do anything. So my body was just off. And it was in the vacation time, so that's very good. I didn't let any kids down, but I was always that happy and positive, and oh, everything is good, and oh yes, I'm, you know, always having those masks on, like I'm good and everything is good. And if people ask me, I didn't really answer them honestly, because when I truly was honest with them, I was just miserable, depressed. Like I couldn't see any changes in education in school. It's like a
Mhm.
mid-age structure that never changed. Like it's from the dinosaur time. I don't know how to say it in English. It's from the dinosaurs times, and I got really depressed by not seeing any changes, not having other colleagues, other teachers that will stand up for those kids. And at a certain point, I had to be honest with myself, and I didn't want to. So my body quit, and I needed to be honest with myself. And the thing is that not only that was happening, but I also had a relationship that was awful. So my dad had, didn't really teach me what a man could be, like how a man could respectfully, treat a woman. So I was looking for that, you know, that kind of types, but they were not good for me. And so I ended up in a relationship where I was heavily abused and still wearing those masks for those kids and parents, like, no, everything is fine and oh, everything is good. But at the background, I got struggled and throw off the stairs with my hair, and I tried to cover it up, and I was I was like real bad. And women are very good in wearing masks,
Mhm.
and definitely when they want to take care of someone else and
Mhm.
they feel responsible for someone else, they wear masks all the time. And even at that point, you get like confused, like who you are in
Mm.
real authenticity. Like, am I this or am I this? Because you have wear those masks all the time. And at a certain point, I got abused so heavily that I was near death. He didn't hit me; he struggled me like this. And at a certain point, I never acted out with him because I knew it got too violent. But there was a day that I was like feeling the rebel in me, and I acted out and I said something to him like, just shut up. And that's the moment he went to black. And that moment he struggled me that I wasn't seeing anything. And I was lucky I have some kind of angels on my shoulder, because he was forgot to close the curtains, and he almost do stuff like that when the curtains are closed or when it's dark or no one sees, right? But he was so angry at that moment, he forgot to close the curtains. So at that moment, my neighbors saw him abusing me, called the police, and at the moment I blacked out, the police came in.
Mm.
So when I opened my eyes, I saw two bright blue eyes, and there was none of my husband because he had brown eyes. I was like, what's this? And that was a cop. And he said to me, you don't deserve this. So I'm going to stay here with you. Your husband is away. We brought him to jail and stuff like that. And I will stay with you, and I will help you get up. And I will be here every day. He was to check on you if you're eating and going to your job and stuff like that. And I will get you through this. So that was my angel. I'm still having him for my birthdays because he saved my life. And at that moment, the next day, I just went teaching. And it was after the burnout. I've got abused, and then I just went teaching. So my whole survive mode and all my masks were still working and still, pushing me through. Like, you need to be there for those kids and things like that. And the moment I stepped in the classroom, one of those kids looked at me and he was so freaking angry with me. And I didn't know why, but he was. And he said, I won't look at you today. Get out of my way. I'm so angry with you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. It's just after vacation. I'm so glad to see you. He said, no, fuck off. I don't need to see you. And I didn't understand. After that, a few hours later, I asked the kid, please tell me what's up. Then we can fix it. I can say sorry or whatever. Please tell me what's up. And he said, no, because I will hurt you when I say it to you. So I got him out of the classroom and really got, one to one, like, please tell me, no one's listening or watching us. Please tell me what's up. And he looked me in the eye and he said, you're always like a rainbow. You're always like shining like a star. But right now, the only thing I see is one black hole. And you're always telling us, follow your dream, take good care of yourself, because then you can take care of others. Put yourself on the first place. Really, follow your inner whisper and shit like that. And you don't. You don't do it. So don't come with me with that bullshit like, yeah, happy day, happy slappy. No, you're not doing it. And I know you're lying because I see your whole, vibe is darkness. So if you won't follow your dreams, I won't follow my dreams. And you just need to fuck off. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
He was 10 years old.
Wow.
And I was like, oh shit, he's right. He's so right. And I couldn't lie to him because he was right. He was hitting me in my heart, like, oh. And that day, I called the police office guy to help me to flee the relationship, so I can, have those that we need to stay in distance of each other and stuff like that. The court things.
Training order.
Yeah, and so I can really, because I was brainwashed. I still thought he was my husband and stuff like that. That's a whole other conversation, but I was still thinking that that was love, because I was delusional about my self-worth and who I was and all kinds of that. So I called the cop and I said to him, let's arrange this. It's done. The kid of 10 told me that I am not leading by example and he's not following his dreams. So what the fuck am I doing right now? Really, to be honest, I'm nowhere right now. I always provide for others and I've done nothing for myself. So let's make this the first step. So I did. And after that, I quit my job. So I went to the principal office and I told her the same story as the kid told me. And I said to her that the kid was right and I have to follow my mission. And I didn't know what the fuck my mission was, but I knew it wasn't that. And that I need to quit my job and that she needs to ask another teacher to take care of those rebels because I need to take care of myself. And she was like, no, you cannot do that. And you always worked for us and you're loyal and stuff like that. But I was like, no, man, it's not going to happen. If I'm not going to change today, it's not going to happen. So I'm gonna do this today, and it scares the shit out of me. But what scares the most out of me is that those kids saw me having the example of putting myself at the back and draining myself and not following my dreams, and maybe they will see that and copy that, and they will be our future leaders. So the consequences were too big to just let it be. So I quit my job, and I was scared as hell, and uh, quit the relationship, and I was on my own. And that was the most dark time I've ever have experienced. I was feeling so freaking lonely, but that was at the end, it was the best thing I've ever done, to choose for myself. Once in my lifetime, I've chosen for myself. And I started with zero because I haven't, I fled the scene. So I started with zero, but with I started with one thing, and that was my heart's desire. Like, I wanted to connect with myself again. I wanted to follow my inner whisper, and I didn't know how to or what to or how it was, how it should be. But I did know when I was following this path, it will become my dad either way, in the relationship or in school with work, burnout stuff. It was a dead end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, I had nothing to lose really, if you see it that way, if you put it that way. So that's what I did. I built myself up from the ground up, and started to follow my inner whisper. And the first thing is going to theater and go and see a movie and find out what kind of milkshake I like. I didn't do. Like, do I like strawberry or vanilla? I knew which milkshake everyone liked it, but I didn't know which one I liked. So I started with that. Like, which kind of colors do I like? Which kind of food do I like? Which kind of movies do I like? And so I started to build up, and at the end, I had like this vision of leading those next generation of legends, because I believe that when you're young, you have like this potential, and you can choose to use that potential or to screw up your life like I did. So I can see in every kid that I've teach in school that they have some kind of potential, right? When sometimes I use the example of Bob Marley. When you visualize Bob Marley when he was young, I truly believe that he was already like jamming when he was 10, right? And I truly believe that when you're young, you already know what you are, and you will get lost in the way of getting adulthood and all those masks and things you need to do and need to be and stuff like that, and you get a little bit lost and detached from your purpose. So trying to find my inner purpose and inner child again, and I saw that I needed to help those rebels. I needed to help those rebels in a different kind of way, because the teaching and education stuff isn't really working for me, because it never changed. So that's what I did. I helped female purpose driven entrepreneurs, like moms with kids, to show those kids what it is to follow your dream. And so the kids look up to their mom, and they will follow their dreams too. And I started just small with 2 or 3 clients, um, but without the masks, just freaking honest, just be me, without everything is good and yes, I'm strong. Yes, I'm strong too. I can handle a lot. But I think when you show some vulnerability, or when you tell something that you've been through, a lot of people recognize that and find their inner strength too. So that's, yeah, my story in a nutshell, I think.
Uh,
Yeah.
I love it, and I want to take some comments here. So first and foremost, We got someone watching from Ghana. Like, oh my god.
Oh yes.
Oh,
International.
because school's a scam. Yeah,
I'm honest. I'm teacher for 10 years. The school isn't really to help you to prepare you for life.
no.
It prepares you for work. It prepares you for getting stuck.
It prepares
And
you for the system.
yes, and I really do not like the system. And I
No.
really value my freedom. And I want to, open up the eyes of people that you need to take care of that freedom yourself, and not by having the good grades so you can remember a lot of information and get good grades, because it's not really preparation for your life, to be honest. I'm sorry, school.
No, yeah. And Gearson says, Nikita, is it boredom only? Because you said the rebels were boredom. Or she said, or do you think unresolved trauma that needs help, that they need help to properly communicate from because they are dealing with unresolved trauma? I'm hoping that.
Yes, what I mean by boredom is that when you want to learn, when you truly want to learn, you need to open up those windows. I say windows. You need to open up those windows. Those windows only open up when you think it's important, when you think it's valuable, when you think it's for you, right? Like the curiosity or the aha moment. And those kids have been through so much shit that when you're talking about math or history or, you know, remember which land is where and stuff like that, it's not really relatable to them. They're like, fuck off. I don't need to calculate stuff like that. I have abuse in my house. Police came in last night. So what the fuck are you talking about? It's not important to me. And the thing is that communication is the most important thing. So in school people don't know, but in school you have guidelines from the government, and the government tells you which hour you need to teach what. So you have 13 subjects, and they will tell you on Monday you do like conversation, what your weekend about, and the next day you will start with gym or math or whatever. I had I had I didn't had much care for that. So that's why I got a lot of warnings. Because every day I started with a conversation for a whole hour. And it wasn't by the guidelines of the government. That's why they sued me. But I started with sharing. Share what your life is about. Share what's important to you. Share what you're thinking about. And those kids ask questions like, um, is God really existing? Because if God is love, why can I see it in my house? If 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 I need to know how to learn math and stuff like that, why do I need to learn that? Why is that important for me right now? And they ask questions like, I saw something in nature, how does that work? And they have a different kind of curiosity about the world and the things they experience, and not really about the subjects. You can, shove the subjects in, but you need to start with their story. And they shared a lot of things like, my pet died. So when your pet died, it's your friend. It's when it's your dog, like your pet dog, it's your friend. It feels like someone in your family had died. And I'm gonna teach you how to do math? Oh no, it won't work. We need to talk about it. Like, how does it feel to lose your dog? How does it feel to lose someone else? And when people or kids are starting to talk about that, they start to talk about their grandma who passed away and their uncle, and that they really shocked about how their parents reacted, and I didn't know what to do. And we have so much interesting conversations about their environment, what they've experienced as they are young, like 10, 12, that I thought was most important. And after that hour, I will tell them what the government wants. Then we do the lessons. And after that, we have some time for ourselves to, enjoy and have playtime and have our own projects and stuff like that. But I think communication was the biggest part of it. We have a lot of cultures here in Holland. I don't know if you have that too. We have a lot of cultures, and so every culture has its own way to communicate. Some cultures don't cry. Some cultures don't talk about weaknesses. Some
Yeah.
cultures don't talk about feelings. And those kids need to deal with that like big time when they're young and when they're adult too. So I've talked a lot about emotions. How do you feel? Because if you're not feeling okay, you're not going to learn. If you're not feeling good enough about yourself, you're not going to learn because you think you don't deserve this. So what are we going to do with those lessons if you're not in the right space, right? So
Mhm.
we've talked a lot, and everything we can talk about everything. Like we talked about sex, we can talk about sexuality, and we can talk about how it is to be a woman or it is to be a man. So I invited like manly teachers because I don't know how to be a man. So he told he told the kids of the guys how to what it is to be a man and what it is to share your emotions. And I think that for 1 year, I provided them value for that life, but I wanted to have bigger impact. And I wanted to have those female leaders to stand up and, be a leading example for those kids. They can be leaders too, and they can, raise those kids to be leaders too. And so we will have a better future in, I don't know if I'm gonna, experience that, but we will have a better future after a few generations. And I think the change is with yourself, your own leadership. So it's a good question. It's not really the boredom. They get bored because they're not really connected with the subject. But communication and talking about what you experience is the most important thing.
I love that. And I'm going to read from here. Toby says, starting over is not easy, but so worth it. And that's very true. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not easy, but it's especially when you're choosing yourself. I think that's really where it becomes worth it because it is hard. Like the biggest thing I had to learn was being alone after
yeah,
being in relationships and seeing that as the way. And that's the hard part, But I always tell people, I said, if you can get past that, you're good. And uh, I can't pronounce her name. Shaky. I hope I say this wrong. I'm so sorry. Children are like empty sheets. We, the parents, write what we want, and if parents neglect their kids, they're going to learn bad things. And you know what? I agree with that. And it's not so much that we necessarily write what we want because what you speak into a child has a lot of influence, but the way you hold yourself and the way you show up in life is
yes,
ultimately going to be the ultimate influence, in my opinion. Like
yes.
how
Because I've teach them, right. I've talked to them. So and it did not really, help because I never lead it by example. So the people who can look, the kids who can look through my mask didn't have that good example. The kids who have, see me as a up teacher and very bright and positive, they had one good example, but when they go back to their house, they need to switch. And kids are very, very loyal to their parents. And it doesn't matter if it's good parents or parents don't know how, to raise kids. Everyone can have sex, so everyone can have kids, right?
mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're intelligent or you're good at raising kids, so you can have kids. No, everyone can have kids. And we need to deal with that. So I think it's not really the parents because the parents always really want them to give the love, yes, but parents don't get loved that easily. So when you as a parent got neglected, you don't know how to love your kid because you didn't have an example. So you need to learn the parents what to do. because they really don't know, and they always trying, but they don't know, you know, what love looks like, or they don't know how to show emotions because they have never learned that. It's not really that they don't want to. I've spoken to a whole lot of parents, and even parents that abused kids, and parents that left their kids alone for a couple of days, or didn't really fed those kids, because I always had some breakfast in my drawers. And I always ask those parents, like, what's up? What happened? Be honest with me. Didn't you want those kids? Is there something up? And those parents are always in survival mode. They don't know. They're desperate themselves. And I think by helping those parents to get those tools, to speak with them about emotions, about how to break those generation things, you will get more done. Because when you are in your generation, when it's addiction or abuse or stuff like that, and generation on generation on generation, you will get that past, how hard it is for you to break that. It's very hard. It's very hard. And you need to be brave, and you need to be, determined, and you need to hold on, and you need help. So let's provide that for them.
I love that.
They're humans too.
And I'll say that, and just piggybacking off that, I had a conversation around that today, kind of, and it was just, we're all operating at our own level of awareness, doing what we can with what we have. And so I think that's why it's really important that, especially as you become an adult, you become very aware of your own patterns, because once you have kids, for everything where you try not to be like your parents, those are the things you end up replicating, because you're like, I don't want to be anything like that. But in reality, those are your cycles. And until you become aware of that, that's what you start taking on. And Kirsten says we have to connect about my company for sure. Beauty Boundaries. You guys really have to connect. She's awesome.
Yes, we should. Add me on Facebook.
Parents and teens that have healthy communication when talking about the uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. We have to have a panel today,
we
man.
need to connect. Yes.
And then she said, your practical knowledge is so valuable when working with children. Excited already to hear about your background. And then Kirsten has her own story, and that's her story. I've heard it, but it's not my story to share. But if anybody on this right now can understand where you're coming from, that would be her. And then she said, students fall in love with good teacher. She said, I feel you so much. And then this one, I love that. Ground zero, that vulnerability breeds intrinsic opportunity, which is very true. In fact, on the panels we talked about intrinsic values, which is the value system you have, meaning even if you weren't going to get paid for it in life, or, this was always, how would you show up always? And then she said, oh, look, we both have to be on her first panel. Hell yeah. Well, yeah. And she said, we are fighters of freedom, plowing the path. Kirsten, I love you, man. Just killing me. All these amazing
comments. Let's do this.
And, I was going to say about the standard, I think the reason, and see, I don't think you guys have CORE. So they introduced CORE in the United States. And it absolutely infuriates me to no end, because basically what they're saying is all kids are going to learn exactly the same way. And that's just not the way it is. And you are literally setting these kids up to fail. And then Shaky says kids must learn what they want at school. And I honestly,
I told the principal I'll be back, and when I'm back, I would change the whole educational system. Mark my words. And she was like, oh, I truly believe that. I can feel your power. Okay. But it's a promise. I won't die before the educational system in Holland is changed.
Well,
it's not acceptable.
Well, and Kirsten says loss and grief must be addressed properly, and adults even most end up time burying. I'm going to tell you two things actually. I was going to say when COVID hit, everybody, we got out of the schools, right? And I'm sitting here that kind of sucks in the beginning because of a mom who works. It's a little stressful, but you know, I think we should all be grateful too, because think about how difficult it was for our kids. Like, I don't think school is the best environment for them to be in. They don't learn the things they need to learn. You know, we don't have real discussions around sexuality and true sexual education.
Yes, how to treat
Fuck
each
that
other,
shit with
relationships.
abstinence. I mean, nobody on here remember what being 14 and horny was like, because I remember. All right, okay. I thought about abstinence because I didn't give a shit. I needed to be taught about how to have safe sex and how to make good decisions around sex.
And how you need to be treated, like how you can connect with people on different levels.
Well, you know, and what I would really love to see is domestic violence. Like, what is not acceptable? What is a bad? You know what I mean? Like things like that. So, she says, so happy you provide that forum. And then this one, I love them. Teach them how to exist, not to just live and die. That's so true.
I love that.
They should hire speakers like us for school so we can drop the mic.
Yes. I'm very good at mic drops.
The other one, I think it was, she said, so difficult to break begins with awareness. So yeah, man, again, it just comes back to our awareness. And, you know, when we originally talked, we talked about being like unfuckwtithable women and what that took. And I think it really just starts with that awareness.
Yeah.
That awareness, like for me, it was that awareness that the life I was living was just not going to work anymore. Yeah. Like I can't fucking do this anymore. If I have to live one more day like this, like I am just going to die inside.
Yeah.
You know, I always hope that as we continue to evolve, we will bring ourselves back to, or elevate ourselves to another level of awareness, because right now we are just, there's like half the world is aware and the other half is like, nah, you know what, I just want to lay here and sleep.
Yeah, it's comfortable, sleepy.
I like this bed. It's very nice over here. And, you know, we really can only truly come to people from our level of awareness. Like that was something that I had a conversation around the other day, because somebody was like, you know, all these people are, you know, obviously we're in a heightened level of animosity at the moment. You know, we have all these things happening. And to me, that's like the earth saying, listen, y'all better need to like wake the fuck up. Like wake up.
Yeah.
But, you know, the person was like, you know, nobody wants to have a conversation. Every time I try to say something, people da 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 da. And she kept engaging. And I said, listen, you have to remember, everybody can only meet you at their level of perception or awareness of their situation, let alone themselves. So I said, so you have to take that into consideration when you're talking to people. You need to ask yourself, like, where is their awareness at? And, you know, most people are like, well, how can you tell? Like, listen to them talk. Are they actually trying to have a conversation and they're staying open-minded? Or are they just like waiting for you to like catch your breath so they can pounce in there and just shove their shit down your throat? I said, because that'll tell you a whole lot about where they are awareness-wise. And I said, and just remember, you know, some people are not prepared to hear what you have to say. Yeah. People don't like that because that potentially makes it where they have to question themselves. And the last time I checked, people still don't want to question themselves. Nobody wants to have self-doubt.
It's hurtful.
All right. Like, oh, was that wrong?
No.
So, yeah, you know, I always tell people, just remember, you know, when you're going out in the world and you have to integrate yourself with people. I was like, deal with people. I was about to say deal with people when you have to deal with people. You know, just always ask yourself, is it worth my energy? And what level is this person coming to meet me at? Because it's going to be really, it's gonna save
what's the intention?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. We could do a whole show on that.
Good.
Right. And Gearson said half is generous. So, I was like, what does she mean? I know you're talking about half is generous. I'm trying to be really nice, Kirsten. Okay. I'm trying to wear my nice, you know, my feel good. So I'm just trying to be nice tonight. Yeah. So this is we're coming on the end. Like, that's freaking nuts. All right. Here's my favorite question, the one I told you that I'm not going to tell you because I want to wait. I can't believe it's already like 10 till. That's insane. But all right, so if someone was coming to you, like let's say you were speaking and someone came to you at the end of your speech and said, listen, I love your story. What I'm going through a tough time in life right now, very similar to yours. If you could give me 3 pieces of advice, what would those 3 pieces be?
Good question.
See, that's why I save it. I don't share it.
I love this.
About it.
Okay, let me check in. I would say find your inner whisper, because sometimes you're not really conscious about your inner whisper yet because it's a whisper. So find your inner whisper and trust on that. So I ask myself always, every day, every freaking day, every step I make, every day, I ask myself one question, and that's, what would I love? And then I ask myself, so what's obvious? So what would I love? I love to inspire people. So what's obvious? I'm going to go live on Facebook. Okay. And that's what I do. And I trust the universe, or whatever you call it, to get me to my goals, to get me to my, where I want to be. So one of that is trust your inner whisper. Ask yourself, what would you love? And what's obvious? The second thing is, be clear on where you want to go, where you want to be. Like, really clear. If you need to taste, hear, feel, see everything. You need to have all your sentences turned on and visualize where you want to be. And for me, it was on stage, and I can feel what I was wearing. I can hear those people who are, having those roars. I like to, roar like a lion. Roar! So I saw those people, roar! Like, we can do this. Let's change the world. And I can feel like my goosebumps. And I was like in the moment. And that will be my second advice. Like, really visualize where you want to be in life. And you can do that with anything, with your business. You can do that with your family. I have this clear vision about my family. You can do that by your relationships with your mom and dad. You can do that with the money you want to have, all that, all everything you want and deserve in life. Visualize that, like, live it, be in the moment, and check in once in a while. Then just let go, follow your inner whisper, and you will be there. And the third thing is, be brave. Like, it's gonna be freaking hard. I will tell you, it's not like the easy way. But be brave. Just be brave. That's the one thing that kept me going. I'm a brave motherfucker, and I'm gonna do this. And I will show other people to be brave. Just jump and fly.
I think you need a shirt that says that I'm a brave motherfucker. I'm gonna like, your shirt, and then change things. Talking is good, but actions are better. Hell yeah, man!
Action.
Connect with both of us. I'd love to talk more, because that's the second part of it. When you get something like this, a platform or anything, go out there and talk about it as loudly as possible.
Yes.
Go out there and change something. It says, when you said roar, I'm like, I got this image of my head of all these women getting like super excited. I'm just like kicking chairs, like, fuck yeah! Wow! Like, all good. And Deborah on her watch party says, hey, it's just like, Deborah, I'm gonna watch party and this going, so I'm mitigating all the comments. Like, now when you said that, I've like got this image in my head of a bunch of women just getting up and like knocking chairs over and like smacking each other, like yeah.
Like, so loud.
Reminds me of myself because like if I get really excited, the joke when I was working in the kitchen was don't stand near Ashley if she gets really excited because you'll get physically assaulted. And one of my cooks thought that was a joke. And I got really excited about something. And I'm not Superman, but I'm like, yeah, I'm like shaking the nearest person near me. And he was like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm just so mad. And he's like, he was so traumatized after that. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry. Okay, just calm down.
It's too strong. I'm sorry.
I'm really excited. All right, so we are at the end. That's like crazy. So this is the part where you tell everybody about where they can connect with you because I feel like you're going to have some new stalkers after this, some new Facebook.
Yay! Let's change the world. That's so important. So you can check me on LinkedIn and Facebook. Just by my name, Nikita Heller, and I have a company, and it's called Born to be Legend. No surprise there, right? So you can check my Facebook on Born to be Legend too. And if you want to connect, like truly want to connect with me, just send me an email on info@nikitaheller.com because I am serious about changing the world. So if you want to do that too with me, and if you can make a change together in sharing our stories and stuff like that, let's do this. I'm all in.
Amen. Oh my God, I love it. And I'll tag on to that for any woman who wants to come on here and share their story and even just share ways that we can begin changing the world where we're at. Then by all means, come on the show. Like, that is a huge thing.
I also have an Instagram where I can share more personal stuff. So when you want to know a little bit more about my daily bullshit, you can add me on Instagram. But, I think it's important to connect because when you do, you're not alone, right? There are a lot more legends and people want to change the world, but we don't really know that. And by your show and the things you do on your podcast and stuff, people are getting conscious about we are with a tribe of leaders in this world.
And that's the most important part is and that was something I've been strong about from the beginning is that I believe that the lies that they feed us that women cannot work together and or be mutually successful together is exactly that, a bunch of lies and bullshit because y'all, we are so powerful together. Like we're powerful just as ourselves, but together we're a fucking force. Have you ever seen a group of women getting some shit done? Like, come on now. And they have to lie to us so that we don't recognize how powerful we are and we don't come together.
Yeah.
So, I always knew when I came into this space that I wanted to use what I had to break the stigma around that, to break the lie. And so this every day is me waking up and going, okay, this is what I can do right now. Like, what's the obvious, right? I can do this right now. And I can share this platform and I can continue growing it into something. So, on what you said, like referencing back for anybody out there wondering what you can do, like Nikita says, like what's obvious right now? What can you do right now? Hell, get on Facebook Live and just talk about what you're passionate about. Seriously, other people, you hold a light that other people need so they can see. So if
you can share those, like the TUF Woman podcast things, you can share those. You don't have to. If you're afraid of speaking from yourself at the beginning, that's okay. You can share others, so we can they know what you're about. Indirectly.
Oh look! Oh look! All in one room. Listen.
Now
we're gonna kick chairs down and do mic drop. Right? But hey, listen, like you just said, call that shit into existence. Like I used to say, I used to say that I was going to work with Oprah, but then I just decided that I'm going to be the next Oprah. Y'all, going to be the next
That's
Oprah.
it.
So
Yes.
if it is in your heart, there's a reason for it. But anyways, you guys, we've already reached an hour. That's insane. Like, blows my mind every time when we do these shows. And I'm like, oh, look, we're already here. We're already here. But so you guys, please connect with Nikita. I know it's like almost 2:30 or very late in the morning for you guys. But thank you, everybody. And for anybody who talked about connecting, please reach out to Nikita, myself, both of us. I hope everybody connects and we keep building bridges, because that's how we create action. That's how we create change.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, COVID or not, we live in a world where we can now connect. You're all the way in Holland and I'm in North Carolina, if that says anything.
Awesome.
So yes, Kirsten, I love. I can't, man. You're just like on a roll, man. But she's like, I love this. All right, so you guys, make sure you guys tune in. It is Thursday. I was about to say next Tuesday or next Thursday, but you guys tune in Tuesday for another panel. And I want to say this while we're on here. I am getting ready to announce the panels coming up, and I have open slots coming up for more table episodes. So for any woman who wants to come on, please click the link in the bio or connect with me, and I will get you set up with a link to get scheduled for a show. So you can come on here and talk about your story and how you want to help change the world. And hopefully from all of this, we will see a lot more people connected, and we will see a lot more people changing the world. So it's going to be fun, you guys. So see you guys on Tuesday for another amazing panel. I don't know what this one is, but it's going to be fun. All right. And then next Thursday for another amazing story. Thank you guys so much. All right. Make sure you guys share this, right? Let's start here by sharing this amazing story. So thank you guys. See you on Tuesday.